What's up guys, this is Sharon Zeus and you're watching Tech Guy 61. This video is all about the latest trending that is happening in the world. If you ask what the trend is, this is about the latest and the smartest chipset for the smartphones. It's the Snapdragon 865 chip. Yes, it is really happening. It has lots of advantages and introduces the new features that the 865 don't have. This chipset already published, it will be the game changer. We will see this chipset in the phones from the next year. It's of course faster than any current Android smartphones in the market. The 865 expands the existing suite of the Snapdragon Elite gaming features. You will have things like the game color. All games will have richer graphics. There's something called forward rendering, using which games can use the sophisticated lighting effects. This was only possible on PCs before. The 865 also has updatable graphics drivers, which means you can also update the phone's graphics too, which is pretty interesting. The gaming is the main goal here. You might have noticed that in 2019 especially is that the cameras on the smartphone are becoming a bigger focus than ever. Phone manufacturers are using these 48, 64 and even 108 megapixel sensors, and this new chipset 865 will let your phone better process all of that information. You could loosely split the camera improvements here into two categories: upgrades that makes existing features better, and just straight up. You are already used to being able to record the videos at 4K resolution. Some photos can do this at 30 frames per second. Some can even do that in 60 frames per second. If you want to take super slow motion footage, it also supports 960 frames per second. You can record the video continuously. You could do this for 10 minutes. And thanks for the better chip architecture, this keeps the things running cooler. There is also a subtle benefit from having a super powerful chip. You can take the photos and videos at the same time. Let's say you are recording a 4K video, but you feel like to take a picture from a part of it. Instead of just saving, you will now have the power to continuously snap full 64 megapixel photos. It is little iterative, but the 865 also create few new camera opportunities. It means you can optically zoom in without the wire juddering that we were seeing in the past generations. Really smooth zoom. It means that you are recording these videos you can call Adobe Vision, which is considered by many the benchmark for a color science to give you an idea of the multiplication. Most big budget movies you see in cinema are shot in flat raw format, and then they are taken to Dolby so that the Dolby can implement their color bit by bit for every single scene. This Snapdragon 865 chipset you directly record with this color. Another cool feature is that when you take a portrait mode photo but the same shot without the portrait mode effect. Also, you can take 200 megapixel resolution photos and 8K resolution video at smooth 30 frames per second. This also includes the AI. This chip has about twice of the AI performance versus the current generation. The aim of this is to make the life easier without needing to think what's happening. For example, you take a photo. This AI enables segmentations, or in other words, the ability to identify each object in a photo separately and correct them accordingly. It individually looks at each pixel in your photo and decide whether it's a hair or it needs a sharpening or a skin tone that could do with softening, and it happens almost instantly, like the Google phone uses the radar to know when you are nearby, and the 865 chip perfectly aligns with that idea quite nicely. It has a completely new sensing hub. Part of the chip is dedicated to make your phone more contextually aware of what's happening around. So background tasks like continuously checking GPS location or listening out for your voice can now be done with less power consumption, but also better. Your phone will effectively pick what are you saying, but also understand it, and this ties into real-time translation. You will probably seen smoothing like this before. Google Lenses can already translate what it sees, but the difference is that your phone can translate not just written text but also your voice with no internet connection with zero delay. The final and the probably coolest AI feature I saw was the evolution of the augmented reality emojis. This next gen phone will be able to track micro expressions on our face in real time, things like a small smirk or even an eye roll. The next pillar of the Snapdragon 865 connectivity, and it's bigger than you think. There's the expected 5G speed improvements. You were talking about the theoretical download speed of the 7.5 gigabyte per second. And for context, this is fast enough to download and the HD Netflix movies in just a few seconds. The chipset is built for consistent connectivity and the better coverage. This X55 modem uses is also made to deliver the best in class 4G signal, and because this one solution handles both 4G and 5G. So I've talked about the speed, cameras, artificial intelligence and connectivity, but a new generation chips also comes with a lot of all-round improvements. So here are some of my favorites with the A65 chipset. It supports even higher quality display. There's been a push recently towards a fluid 90 Hz and even a 120 Hz screen in the last couple of years, but we can now stretch that all the way to equal HD plus display at 144 Hz. Then got better battery life. The way the A65 is built, almost everything on your phone is with better power efficiency. For example, there's a 16% battery saving while recording a video, and imagine the benefits was on standby will even greater. And finally, on a bit of a side note as well, the A65 Qualcomm Snapdragon announced their next generation of fingerprint scanner, the 3D Sonic Max, which basically has many times the scanning area of current gen technology and can even allow for two-finger authentication, which could increase the security from a 1 in 50,000 false acceptance rate to tiny 1 in million. So that's the Snapdragon 865 is the backbone of potentially the phone of your dreams, and it will be interesting to see how companies in the next year take advantage of it. Thanks for watching this, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.